Hello geometry students. Today we're starting chapter 12. We're not going to do section 1. We are continuing on to section 2, which is on surface area of prisms and cylinders. And so let's first talk about a prism. A prism has two faces that are congruent and they lie parallel to each other. Those are going to be called your bases. So when you look at our first figure, the bottom here has a hexagon, so this is called a hexagonal prism, and our two hexagons are congruent and they're parallel, so those would be considered your bases. Now, just because it's sitting on the hexagon doesn't always mean it's a base. If I rotate, this is a triangular prism, this is the triangle, and then there's a congruent triangle back here as well. So the triangle is the base. In this here figure, those are the two bases that are congruent. All right, so sometimes kids will think that just because whatever it's sitting on is the base, but that's not correct. And then the lateral faces are the faces that run around the bases. So you see here, my lateral faces actually end up being rectangles. When you have a prism that's kind of like been pushed over or slanted, like this one here, it's called an oblique prism, you still find the surface area and the volume the same way you do with a right prism. This one's called a right prism because you have the altitude or the height of the prism is perpendicular to the base of the prism. So that's called a right prism. If you notice here in the oblique prism that our height doesn't run with the base. It comes straight down here and it actually falls outside of that base. All right, so let's move on and take a look at some of our examples. Example number 1 says find the lateral area. So I have to find the area of all the lateral sides. In this section, we're always going to be rounding to the tenths, and I believe that's what they're going to ask you to do in your book as well. And so lateral areas, lateral sides that run around the base. And so my base in this first example is the pentagon. And so my lateral sides, the lateral faces are right here. So I have a number of rectangles is what I have. And so if I look at my rectangles, I'm going to have 5 rectangles. And so I need to find the area of one of those rectangles and then multiply it by 5. And so I see this is 18 and this is 6. So I'm going to take 5. And then to find one of the faces, I'm going to take 6 times 18. So I'm going to take 30 times 18 and I'm going to get 540 inches squared. And so people, you guys can do that. You can find each one of the faces and then add them together. The other way you can do it, if you notice here, I did 6 times 5 and I said 30, right? That actually is the perimeter of the base. And so to find the LA of a prism, you could just take the perimeter of the base and times it by the height of the prism. And so if you take a look here, when I look at this pentagon, I have 5 sides and 6 inches on each side, so my perimeter is 30, and then I'm going to multiply it by the height, which is 18. I like this. This is quick and fast, but if I don't remember that formula, I can always go back and say, okay, each side is 6 by 18 and then times it by 5. I'm getting the exact same answer. 30 times 18 is 540 inches squared. Now, we also need to find the total surface area of the figure. And so total surface area would be all the lateral area or all the lateral faces plus I have 2 bases, and my bases are pentagon. So I'm going to need to find the area of a pentagon, and then I'm going to have to multiply that by 2. So I'm going to pull up my pentagon here. That's 6. To find the area of the pentagon, I need to do my apothem times perimeter divided by 2 is what I'm going to do. And I have to add the LA to that. I also need to times it by 2, don't I? So my total surface area is going to be my LA plus 2 of my apothem times perimeter divided by 2. So I'm going to have to draw my triangle in here. Right? I'm going to have to find this central angle, which most of you know 360 divided by 5 is 72. So I'm going to pull out one part of that triangle. That's going to be 3. The whole thing was 72, so I'm dividing by 2. I'm writing 36 there. I need to find the apothem, which is right here. So I need to use my trig. This is opposite, that's adjacent. So I'm going to use tangent. 36, opposite is 3, adjacent is A. Using our algebra, multiply by A. Now you have A tangent 36 equals 3. And so now go ahead and divide by tangent 36. A equals, punch this in on your calculator, 3 divided by tangent of 36. I don't have a number there. Actually, what I did here, people, is I went up in this formula. I wrote T, total surface area. My LA was 540 plus 2. This is really my A right here, guys. A equals, divided by tan 36. So this is gone. So my A is really 3 divided by tan 36. So I actually went up here and I wrote that in for A. I wrote my 3 over tangent 36. You guys have to keep all of that in your calculator, so you might as well just write it in there. My perimeter around here, I've found that once already, but I have 6 on a side and I have 5 sides. So my perimeter is 30. Now, I'm looking at this total surface area. I still have my 540 plus. I see that this 2 will cancel with this 2 right here. So now, this is what I have to punch into my calculator. So I need to take 3 divided by tangent of 36 and then times it by 30. We have to be better at writing our steps down. Some of you are very good at showing all of the details. Some of you are definitely lacking in that. As we move towards possibly going maybe to college or something like that, communicating the mathematics is important. So now, my total surface area. This is still my LA. Now I've punched this in my calculator, and I'm getting 123 and 9/10. So I'm communicating my mathematics. I'm just not writing an answer down, but I'm showing what my LA is and I'm showing what my bases are. So my total surface area is, now I'm adding those together, 663 and 9/10 inches squared. So we've done LA, lateral area, and total surface area. Let's take a look at the second example. We've got to find the lateral area and the total surface area. So for LA, I'm going to do my perimeter of my base, and then I'm going to multiply it times the height. Now when you look at this figure, the 20 by 12 is not the base because this here is not the same size as that one. So that is not, it's not the base. The base is really the trapezoid. So I have to go ahead and find my perimeter for my trapezoid. So I'm going to add up my sides. I've got 9, 10, 10, and 20. 9, 10, 10, 120. My height is 12. So this is my work here, communicating my mathematics. LA equals, I'm going to add all of those up. When I add those up, I get 49.
Jackson, back to the office, please.
Times 12. I'm going to multiply those together now. 49 times 12. I'm getting 588. Make sure I put my label on there. Centimeters squared. So communicating your mathematics, people, don't just punch in 49 times 12 and write 588 centimeters cubed down, but you need to have the steps to communicate it. So now when I'm going to go and do my total surface area, remember you've got your lateral area plus your two bases. So I'm going to have to find my area of my trapezoid. So my total surface area, I have that. LA is 588. Now I need to find my trapezoid. So I need to do base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2, and then I need to times that by the height. So I've got two bases. I'm writing 2 down. Base 1, 20. Base 2, 10. I'm going to divide that by 2. The height of the trapezoid is 8. Don't be writing 12. 12 is the height of the whole entire prism. So I'm going to times that by 8. Now I can see mathematically these 2's are going to cancel. So my total surface area, 588, plus I need to take 30 times 8, and I'm going to get 240. So then my total surface area, adding those two together, 828 centimeters squared. And again, you know, people, we need to show all of this work. We need to communicate our mathematics. All right, on this one, I'm just going to write the answer down. You might be interested in doing those calculations. My LA is 120 meters squared, and then my total surface area is going to be 132 meters squared. In example number 4, same thing here. I'm just going to write the answer down if you want to try that on your own or maybe before a test or quiz. 384 meters squared, and then my total surface area, 467.1 meters squared. Okay, so I'm going to look at example number 5 now. I'm looking at that, and I need to do my LA, and then I need to do my total surface area. Now, in this problem, you don't have faces, but remember your LA is your perimeter times the height of the prism. And this is the perimeter of the base. And so the shape of the base is this circle right here. And when I talk about the perimeter of a circle, I'm actually talking about the circumference. So I need to find the circumference. LA, to find circumference, you do pi d and then times the height. So my LA equals pi, lateral area for LA, 12. And then the height is, of the whole prism is 14. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply that all together. My pi in 14 and 12, 527.8 centimeters squared. Okay, now I need to go and find my total surface area. So to find total surface area, remember you do your LA plus you have two bases. You have to understand these formulas. I'm not going to give these formulas to you, so you need to know how to do them. So my total surface area, I have my LA, 527.8. Now I need to add my two bases. And my bases are circles, so I need to take it 2, and then my area of my circle is pi r squared, and my radius is 6. So I'm still communicating my mathematics by writing each step down. My total surface area, I still have my LA, my lateral area, 527.8. I'm going to multiply this out and I'm going to write it down. So I'm taking 2 times pi times 36. I'm getting 226.2. Now I'm going to add them together. I'm writing each step down. I'm communicating my mathematics. Total surface area. Adding those two together, 754.0 centimeters squared. Now, this is wrong, people. If you're writing just 754 and you don't have a decimal and you don't have anything behind there to show that you're rounding to the tenths, that's going to be marked wrong. You need to communicate what place value you're rounding to. We added 2 tenths spots together, so we need to keep that tenths there. This is incorrect. People are going to make that mistake on quizzes and tests, so keep that in mind, people. You need to round to the tenths and need to communicate what place value you're rounding to. So you guys have a great afternoon and evening, and I'm going to see you in class tomorrow.